Zurich is Switzerland's largest urban area and its economic centre. It's also the only city in the country with two top-flight football teams, and the rivalry between the two clubs is fierce. FC Zurich first met Grasshoppers back in 1897, making it one of the longest-running derby matches to be found outside Great Britain. This season, the clash fell on the Swiss Super League's opening weekend, and for both sets of supporters, it was a great way to start.
FC Zurich is the city club. It's the club of the ordinary people. The derby is, of course, the biggest match in Zurich, as the two city rivals always compete against each other. The rivalry is quite healthy, but of course both teams want to be number one in Zurich. I would say that this is the game of the season.
Derby is the most important game of the year. It's about being number one in the city. It's always crucial to be better than FC Zurich. That's why we say, it's a new game, a new victory.
Grasshopper Club is Switzerland's most successful side, with 27 league championships and 19 Swiss Cups to their name. Founded a decade before FC Zurich, historically Grasshoppers were the team of the middle classes, and these days they draw most of their support from the suburbs and countryside around the city. Amir Abrashi is a regular in their midfield.
Of course it's going to be tough. A derby like this is always going to be a tough fight. It's going to be very emotional, and for me personally, I'm very motivated. You know, it's always something a bit different. When it's a derby, there is a totally different attitude.
FC Zurich, meanwhile, have 3 league titles to their name since Grasshoppers' last triumph. And FCZ have also had cause for celebration more recently, winning last season's Swiss Cup to collect their first silverware since 2009. Midfielder Marco Schönbeckler is the club's longest-serving player.
I've been here for 11 years now, 6 years as a professional. We won the championship twice and played in the Champions League. Then there were a few less successful years, but now we are back on track to get to the top end of the table. And of course, I want to celebrate winning the championship with FC Zurich once more.
Last season it was Grasshoppers who had the upper hand over their cross-city rivals as they finished second in the league for the second consecutive year. German Michael Schieber took over as their head coach in 2013.
I'm really satisfied with my first season here. We were able to continue the good work of the previous year. Grasshoppers have finished second twice now, which is a good performance after some bad years. We want to build a solid base and challenge at the top of the table this season.
The derby hasn't been without controversy lately, especially since both clubs now share the Letzigrund Stadium. And in 2011, a game there was abandoned due to crowd trouble. FC Zurich head coach Urs Meier spent much of his playing career with Grasshoppers, and so is better placed than most to understand the rivalry.
With all these emotions, it's difficult to focus on the game. Focus on the points, because in the derby there are still 3 points to be won, and these points are important. I think the emotions are always going to be there. They're transferred by the fans onto the teams and onto the pitch, and that's where the players really have to control their emotions and maintain their concentration. Each side has to concentrate on their own game, and the team that makes fewer mistakes will have the advantage in the end.
As expected, a tense affair played out, with both sides not only keen to start the new campaign with a win, but more importantly, to get one over on their neighbours. Ultimately, a single goal was enough to decide this derby. Davide Chiumiento, the goal scorer, as FC Zurich recorded the 1-0 win. Bragging rights secured until the next time Swiss football's oldest foes meet again.